G'day, Zane, Thermo Solar. I thought I'd have a chat to you guys and let you know about some sort of results we've been getting for some customers who have solar PV. Now, what a lot of solar PV companies won't tell you is that when you have solar PV installed, your night rate disappears, or your controlled rate. Now, a night rate and a controlled rate are used to shift load from industry during the day, so factories and businesses, to domestic customers at night, if you like. So they use the hot water cylinder because it's one of the largest consumers of electricity in the home. So when we get a customer that comes to us and says, oh look, we've got solar PV installed and we're not that happy, we go in and have a look and say, well, what have you got installed that how have they installed it, how have they run it, how have they wired it up, have they gone and just put solar PV in and walked away, have they gone in and the installer put the hot water cylinder on a timer, how much solar PV have you got, what are you generating, when are you using your house, different times of the day. Now, a lot of solar PV for people, now a lot of people are at home during the evening and out working during the day, so when their PV is generating electricity, often they're actually at work. So if you look at the times of the day when you use most of the electricity, often between 7 in the morning and 9 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon and sort of 10, 11 o'clock at night, outside those times you don't use a lot of electricity unless you're sort of smart and put things on during the day when you have PV installed, which is a good idea. So we were called to a couple in Ashburton and they had solar PV put on, their power bill had gone up. So when they were using electricity, they were drawing from the grid at a 39 cent kilowatt hour, which is quite high, but the power companies won't let you have your cake and eat it too. So they take away your night rate for your water, and then what they do is they put you on a higher rate when you're drawing from the grid. So those times when you come home and you're cooking dinner and things like that, most of the time you're drawing from the grid, unless, you know, sometimes in the summer months you still be able to generate power because the sun sits higher for longer in the sky. So effectively what you get is you get your consumption outside the hours that you're generating power, then you get a higher rate when you are charged for your power when it comes in, which can often negate, if you like, the savings that you're actually making on your solar. So solar companies will do things like they'll put your hot water on to run during the day when you're generating electricity on a timer, do a boost overnight, that sort of thing. So effectively you're turning electricity into hot water instead of electricity into putting it into appliances that solely use electricity. So we got called by Mr. and Mrs. Fox in Ashburton, and they had the same issue. So they had a over $200 power bill when they had solar PV installed. We installed our system on their home. They reduced their consumption for their hot water from 3,000 watts down to 450 watts. So when that solar PV is generating electricity, it's being put more into the home rather than just straight to the hot water cylinder. So we put our system on a timer to run during the day when it's generating electricity. Now they were annoyed, they were really angry about their solar PV, so, to the point where the homeowner, Mr. Fox, was going to rip the system out. He had such a rough time with it that he felt like he wasn't getting the return on investment. Now they were told they'd get a 50% saving in their power bill, and in fact the power bill went up. They had to change retailers, things like that. So we installed the system on in their place about sort of 6 weeks ago. So the numbers go like this. They were $204 pre-installation with solar PV installed. They were getting $8 back as a buyback in. It dropped in the first 2 weeks we put it in, so it was installed partway through the month. It was partway through a billing cycle for their solar, for their electricity. So they dropped to $116 for that month, and then the month that it was installed for a full month, they dropped to $79 a month for power. So total power bill went from $204 down to $79 for the month. That's round figures is a 60% reduction in electricity consumption for the whole home. Now, a couple of suggestions we told them is obviously putting the dishwasher on during the day and things like that they weren't told. You know, a lot of people don't get the advice that they need when installing these products. You can't simply install solar PV onto your house and expect to drop your power bill without changing the way you live. So there's a little bit of an insight as to what goes on in the solar industry, if you like, and probably a few things that solar people won't tell you. So by all means, leave me some questions at the bottom underneath this post, and I'll come back to you. You know, if you've got some tricky questions and you want some honest advice, come to me.